Starter Richie Schaefer motioning the Carolina Crusher and King Kong to the starting line. Crusher will have the lane that has room for error because there's just a wall to your left, just the guardrail on the left. On the right, it's open racetrack. In that other lane where King Kong is, you've got guardrail on the right and a pit wall on the left. Very little room for error. Quarter final round action. Ought to be a dandy. Two outstanding trucks here. King Kong's been running great as of late. Carolina Crusher, maybe the most consistent truck on the tour. To the second set, they're even. Kong gets the victory, and he's in trouble. Steve Kane is in trouble. He's out of control down the pit road. Look out! The fire is burning on the King Kong truck. We cannot find the driver, Steve Kane. He's actually landed on a couple of police cars at the end of the track. The safety crew is trying to get down there. There's Steve Kane right there. Steve Kane is out of the truck. That was the roar you heard from the crowd. There is Steve right there in the red driving suit. An unbelievable crash at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The fire extinguishers being used to put out the flames from King Kong. There's Steve Kane walking this one off. He looks like he is okay. Boy, I'll tell you, he's shaking his head and he's talking to Marvin Smith and it looks like he's saying, I'm okay. There's Nick Rossi of the Outlaw. Everybody coming over to see if Steve's all right. And I'll tell you, it looks like he just needs to walk this one off for a minute. What a run for King Kong. That has to be the most unbelievably spectacular monster truck crash in the history of this sport. Army Armstrong's down there. He's going to try and get a word with Steve Kane to see what his thoughts are. Army?
First of all, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, Army.
You have any idea what happened?
When I come over that second set of cars, it got really squirrely on me, and it looked to me like I was going to hit that wall, so I was trying to compensate for it when I was, before I hit the ground, turn the wheel a little bit. And I think I turned the wheel just a little bit too much, and, when she hit the ground, that front end really hooked up, and
it looked to me like when you turn the wheel, the right front hit the ground, but at that time, the left front wheel was up on the rail. Is that what could have thrown you over this thing? When you got the left wheel onto the rail, it looked like you're really in trouble.
Yeah, I think that's, I really don't know. Everything was happening so fast, I'd have to look at the video, but I'd say that'd be about right. That front tire hit that rail and everything.
Well, we've been talking in the sport about how you drivers have to do something that's almost unnatural. That is, when you get in trouble, you have to gas the engine. That's exactly what you did. I cannot think of anything you could have done different to get out of that situation.
Well, I don't know. I seen that sign coming up, and all I was trying to do was get it turned back over on its wheels, but nothing worked,
I'm glad you're okay. We'll see you next week.
We'll see.
Steve Kane, obviously still somewhat dazed, but boy, thank God he's okay. Look at this crash again. We're going to watch it. Steve Kane, the King Kong truck on the right side of your screen. As Army so very aptly described, at the end of the track he got in trouble, and once he got over the wall, there was nothing he could do. He just kept on kicking back. And now the natural reaction for these guys is to throttle to try and power out of trouble. And all that did was go ahead and take him on over, and look at him land on top of those two cars. And I guess this was the scariest point right here, because you could see the trucks engulfed in flames, but we can't see Steve. He comes out of this thing amazingly fast. It looked like it only took him maybe 5-10 seconds to get out of it, but at first, during the live call, we couldn't see him. Now here's one that you've got to wonder about. How can these two police cars be sitting this close to the end of this race course? And I know the officials and the track officials and the TNT officials have to be asking themselves, did they do the right thing? Obviously they didn't, because these cars should have been nowhere near to let this happen. Boy, and here comes the kicker to the story. We're now told that they're brand new police cars, and they're being towed off from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I don't think they're going to fix those babies, as King Kong squashes two with one flip in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, there you can see it. Kong is still upside down in between the cars, but he smashed them both before he got there. An unbelievable accident, the wildest thing I have ever seen in monster truck racing, but Steve Kane is okay. The course is going to be repaired, and we're going to have more action in just a minute on ESPN. Don't go away.